Good morning, West Orange. Welcome to the special Township Council meeting for November 7th, 2025. Before I turn the floor over to Council President, I would just like to remind everyone that West Orange municipal offices are closed on Veterans Day, November 11th. There will be regular jitney service and regular garbage recycling schedule. Also, I'd like to publicly invite everyone to our annual Town Hall Veterans Day ceremony, November 11th, 11 o'clock in front of Town Hall. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. And I would like to turn this meeting over to Madam Clerk.
Thank you. This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The notice for this meeting was emailed to the Star Ledger and the West Orange Chronicle on November 5th, 2025. Councilwoman Castellino?
Present.
Councilwoman Rudin? Here. Councilwoman Scarpa?
Present.
Council President Krakowiak?
Present.
And let the record show that Councilwoman-elect Williams is in attendance this morning.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I want to follow that up by saying thanks to the 7 residents who ran in the council election November 4th, earlier this week, to replace Councilwoman Gebra Michael, who resigned earlier this year. And want to extend a warm welcome to Councilwoman-elect Williams. She's up here because she won the election and is awaiting certification by the County Board of Elections. And at that point, she will be sworn in and will join us on the dais as a full-fledged sworn member. And we welcome her role in any discussion we have today. And she doesn't have the legal right to vote at a council meeting. She can vote in elections. She's a resident, but that's why she's here. Also, as a result of the settlement of litigation the mayor filed against the previous term council that was approved at last week's council meeting, we welcome our new assistant town attorney, Greg Pastor, on Zoom. Mr. Pastor, you're there?
I am, Mr. President, yes.
That sounds good. And please keep an eagle eye because I sometimes don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't believe that.
Okay, we're going to start off with
Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you.
Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
See what I mean? Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice
for all.
The
council is now in their public meeting.
Thank you. I think we should start off very quickly with public comment. We're allowing public comment from in person in the council chambers this afternoon. And if you would like to speak, please raise your hand, be recognized by the council president, and then you can come up to the podium, which is to my right. You have 5 minutes to speak, and would appreciate if everyone would be civil and treat others with your comments as you would like to be treated. Is there anyone who would like to speak at public comment? Please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, I'm going to close public comment and we can move on to our meeting. We called this special meeting to consider the First Amendment to our 2025 budget. This needs to be approved and made public in time to be considered for the budget to be considered for adoption at next week's November 12th, Wednesday council meeting. Residents will have a chance to weigh in on the budget and the amendment at the required public hearing at the next council meeting. This, of course, assumes we approve this today, the amendment. Then this is important to those of you who pay your taxes directly. Once next week that we do approve the budget, we do approve and adopt the budget, it then goes to the Essex County Tax Board, which will then assign exact tax rates to the budget. And then we can get the Q4 tax bills out and you will get them. And I just want to apologize again on behalf of the council for this unacceptable delay in the budget process this year and the consequent uncertainty and any difficulty that any of you have had on payment of your Q3 and Q4 taxes. We expect the process for the 2025 budget to end before the end of December. So those of you who are concerned about the grace period running into 2026, we do not expect that to happen. And the council recognizes that the 2025 budget process is broken and not acceptable. And we'll talk about that a little bit later after our consideration of the First Amendment to our 2025 budget. Moving to resolutions, I will entertain a motion to consider Resolution 249-25.
I make a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great, thank you. Now, I guess I can talk a little bit about what the amendment talks about. Is this appropriate time to do that, or?
Well, he's going to read the resolution, so.
Before you blow their minds with all the gobbledygook, I'm going to try to minimize the gobbledygook. Let's see here. As some of you may know, we were planning to adopt the budget at our previous council meeting. It was put off because the state took an extended time period to review the budget. And the good news is that the state's review of the budget and the amendment is done so that we can move forward to budget adoption at the November 12th meeting. The bad news, at least as far as the council's efforts to reduce the property tax increase as much as possible, is that the state required a net increase in the property tax of just over $290,000. The original first budget amendment before state review reflected the council's $3.36 million reduction in the budget, collaborating with the administration and the Citizens Budget Advisory Board in the mayor's proposed spending, and thus the property tax levy. Every dollar, once the budget is opened up, every dollar we reduce it also reduces the taxes accordingly. The original budget had proposed a more than 6% increase in property
Hi there,
tax.
how are you?
I'm sorry, whoever is speaking, could you please mute? Please mute your connection to the Zoom. So through our efforts, that put the increase in the municipal operating property tax, the largest of the three municipal taxes, and the only one council can modify, at only $31.56 to the bill for the average homeowner in West Orange. That was a reduction of 87% from the mayor's draft budget proposed tax of $243.31. The revised First Amendment, which is on the township website, on the agenda, increases that bill to $49.43. Now that's more than a 50% increase from the original budget amendment that we had worked on the budget. But even so, this reduction in the tax savings is still just under 80% from the mayor's proposal. The major driver of the changed amendment is the state's requirement that the township increase our reserve for uncollected taxes, typically known as RUT. This is a non-spending appropriation. In other words, we're not putting this money out, but it's basically a conservative cushion made to ensure that we have adequate cash flow for our budget spending. The RUT also serves the state requirement that municipalities collect and transfer your other 5 property taxes. We are legally required, no matter how much we collect in these taxes, we have to turn over 100% to all the other funds and the other entities like the county and the Board of Education. We had proposed a RUT based on this year's ongoing collection rate of 99.06%, which is a tremendously high collection rate, and one that we have been around for as long as I've been dealing with the council in the last 15 years. We have an extremely high collection rate. The state required us to use the slightly smaller 2024 tax collection rate in the budget as the calculation baseline. This increased the RUT from nearly $2.45 million to just over $3 million. And while we do not spend the RUT, the accounting entry helps generate a slightly larger fund balance that is then applied to next year's budget, which then reduces our property tax levy for next year. So eventually it's good news. And as I mentioned, that's what we're here to consider today. So we have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion,
Yes.
including Mr. Ziniak? I don't know if this is the time for you to talk, or do you want to wait till the discussion and then you can read the resolution?
Madam Clerk, what's the proper, read the resolution
Think the
first
resolution
or?
should be read and then
Okay,
questions
sounds
can
good. So
come
I'll
from
hold
that.
off on Councilwoman Rudin, and as soon as we're finished, we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Mr. Ziniak.
So I'm only reading the body of the resolution. So this is from the current fund, section 6 of the adopted budget, amount to be raised by taxes for support of municipal budget, local tax for municipal purposes, including reserve for taxes, from $66,939,614.81 to $66,429,352.11. Total amount to be raised by taxes for support of municipal budget from $69,767,670.17 to $69,257,407.47. Total general revenues, section 7 of the budget, from $105,507,001.54 to $104,996,738.84. Section 8 of the budget, general appropriations, subsection operations within caps, general government, town council, salaries and wages, from $62,435 to $59,313.25. Town council, other expenses, from $35,115.04 to $45,830. Township clerk, salaries and wages, from $260,425.70 to $259,425.71. Township attorney, salaries and wages, from $81,000 to $77,365. Planning board, other expenses, from $13,742.56 to $11,429.34. Support for commissions, other expenses, from $81,707.42 to $69,796.96. Public defender, other expenses, from $22,750 to $17,750. Department of Administration and Finance, Office of the Business Administrator, salaries and wages, from $320,086 to $305,038.75. Other expenses, from $148,485 to $143,231. Central purchasing, other expenses, from $3,775 to $3,275. Central printing and supplies, other expenses, from $19,700 to $5,700. Central telephone, other expenses, from $319,500 to $299,500. Central insurance, unemployment compensation insurance, from $90,000 to $85,000. Central insurance general liability, from $1,329,346.71 to $1,311,439.50. Central Insurance Employee Group Health from $17,308,362.52 to $17,008,362.52. Central Mailing Service, other expenses from $108,350.38 to $83,550.38. Information Technology, Central IT Police Department Services from $385,985.55 to $353,485.55. Tax Collector's Office, other expenses from $95,401.64 to $75,401.64. Township Treasurer, other expenses, from $2,589.52 to $1,749. Division of Accounts and Control, other expenses from $332,800 to $372,800. Department of Planning and Development Director, salaries and wages from $391,610 to $328,280. Other expenses from $33,927.72 to $6,484.07. Housing Code Enforcement, salaries and wages from $367,833 to $328,280. Other expenses, from $7,546.76 to $2,046.76. Department of Fire, Division of Fire, other expenses from $95,669.27 to $110,669.27. Uniform Fire Safety, other expenses from $31,084.63 to $38,084.63. Emergency Management Service, other expenses from $1,729.89 to $1. Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, Office of the Township Engineer, salaries and wages from $488,136 to $467,437. Other expenses from $56,660.71 to $51,660.71. Division of Building and Property, Public Building Operations, other expenses from $1,009,937.63 to $968,387.63. Shade Tree Care and Pruning, other expenses from $395,184.10 to $313,881.10. Street repairs, other expenses from $55,708.43 to $46,708.43. Sanitation and General Township Service Force, other expenses, $10,991.06 to $6,455.54. Central Automotive, other expenses from $770,394.49 to $595,745.62. Sewage and Pumping Stations, other expenses from $82,400 to $63,400. Department of Health and Welfare, Division of Health, other expenses from $49,684.63 to $31,184.63. Senior Citizen Health Center, other expenses from $38,487.50 to $34,015.31. Garbage and trash removal contract, other expenses from $5,326,103.47 to $5,308,953.47. Department of Recreation, Parks and Playgrounds, salaries and wages from $719,050.70 to $763,450.70. Other expenses, from $157,314.86 to $140,314.86. Celebration of public events, anniversary, or holiday, other expenses from $69,278.49 to $61,102.51. Unclassified utilities, gasoline from $483,211.43 to $465,000. Unclassified utilities water from $54,468.88 to $52,968.88. Unclassified utility medical transport billing service from $185,000 to $150,000. Total operations, item 8A within caps from $71,418,767.98 to $70,440,752.01. Total operations, including contingent within caps, from $71,419,767.98 to $70,441,752.01. The detail, salary and wages, from $37,684,444.18 to $37,582,458.19. Detail for other expenses from $33,735,323.80 to $32,859,293.82. Section H1, total general appropriations for municipal purposes within caps from $81,697,462.62 to $80,719,446.65. Operations excluded from caps, tax appeal refunds from $350,000 to $200,000. Total other operations excluded from caps from $7,017,202.36 to $6,867,202.36. Total operations excluded from caps from $7,017,202.36 to $6,867,202.36. The detail, other expenses from $7,017,202.36 to $6,867,202.36. Section D, municipal debt service excluded from caps, interest on bonds from $1,952,945 to $1,972,060.25. Total municipal debt service excluded from caps from $11,820,791 to $11,839,906.25. H2, total general appropriations for municipal purposes excluded from $21,361,616.76 to $21,230,732.01. Total general appropriations excluded from cap section O from $21,361,616.76 to $21,230,732.01. Section L, subtotal general appropriations, items H1 and O from $103,059,079.38 to $101,950,178.66. Section M, the reserve for uncollected taxes from $2,447,922.16 to $3,046,560.18. Section 9, total general appropriations from $105,507,001.54 to $104,996,738.84. The dedicated assessment budget, section 14 of the budget document, dedicated revenues from assessment cash from $290,000 to $300,000. Total assessment revenues from $290,000 to $300,000. Section 15, appropriations for assessment debt, payment of bond principal from $290,000 to $300,000. Total assessment appropriations from $290,000 to $300,000. You want to continue on? Just read the rest of the body of it.
You can.
Okay. Be it further resolved that 2 certified copies of this resolution be filed forthwith in the office of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for certification of the calendar year 2025 local municipal budget so amended. Be it further resolved that this complete amendment in accordance with NJSA 40A :4-9 be published in the Star Ledger in the issue of November 9th, 2025, and that said publication contain notice of a public hearing on said amendment to be held at the municipal building on November 12th, 2025 at 7 p.m. I think that's all I need to read.
Well done, Mr. Tiniak.
Is everyone still here? I think I blacked out.
The question is yes, whether they're still awake.
Yes.
So thank you. So let's return. Councilwoman Rudin, you had raised your hand to join the discussion, please.
Yes, is there a surplus in this budget?
Is there a surplus? Are we using surplus or will this budget generate a surplus?
Surplus right now in West Orange.
Yes, that's the surplus anticipated, the $3-something million that we use as a revenue item.
Right, do we have an $11 million surplus?
No,
Okay, so what was the need to increase this if we do currently have a surplus?
the need to increase the reserve for uncollected taxes was a required calculation based on not just the growth of our own appropriations, but the Board of Education, the county, and the library. There's a calculation that goes along with it. So as Council President said, we have to pay 100% of the levy over to the school, to the county, and to the library. So obviously not everyone can pay their taxes within the year. So in order to ensure that we have the cash flow to not only pay the levies over to the other entities, but also to fund our own operations, we have this non-spending appropriation, the RUT, or Reserve for Uncollected Taxes. Um, part of the reason that they did not want to go along with the ongoing collection percentage for Q1, 2, and 3 is that we're late in the process. So there's an anticipation that just based on when the bills go out, that we're not going to collect up to the 99.06% by 12/31. So that's why they wanted us to go with the conservative method of following last year's collection percentage of 98.84. And it doesn't seem like a lot in terms of the basis points, but it has a real impact on that RUT calculation.
Was this number arrived at after understanding how much the open space, library, and what was the third component?
So the Board of
The
Education,
Board of Education.
the county,
Already been
library,
paid.
and our own appropriations. Mhm.
How much do we owe out of this RUT to those three entities?
Well, I don't know if I have the levies in front of me, but let's see.
Councilman, are you asking what the collection rate, the actual cash collection rate is for those different entities? Or are you talking about what the budgets say the levy should be?
What we owe actually to those three entities as a result of, we're increasing the RUT, I
Mhm.
assume, because we have to pay those three entities.
Yeah, I don't have the county levy in front of me. I mean, the majority of the taxes go to the school. If you look at our tax bill of being $16,162, 10,000 of it is the school tax. I don't have the exact levy in front of me. It's $100-something million that we pay them.
So this RUT
24.
will be utilized very quickly. Is that what you're saying? Or have no?
The RUT,
The RUT will be emptied very quickly?
It's-
Do we owe money to the schools, to the library, and to open space from
it's
this
not
year's
that
budget?
it's not that it doesn't get used. It's really an accounting. It's an allocation. It's like allowance for bad debts, basically. So I like to use the example of, let's say we had a budget of $1,000. So within that $1,000, we have to pay the county, we have to pay our own people, we have to pay the school. And it's a balanced budget. So your revenue is $1,000 in taxes, and then your spending is $1,000. Well, if we spend $1,000, but we don't collect $1,000, we're in the negative. So what the RUT actually is let's say the RUT in this case is $200, and then our spending appropriations are $800. So we can only spend $800 because we may not collect the full $1,000. That's how the RUT works.
Okay, and this cannot be used in any other budget line.
No, you don't spend it. There's no spending against, like, I can't say like, oh, take this project out of the RUT. It gets fully expended every single year. And what it does is it goes towards the calculation of the taxes that we collected. So it does not, there's no spending against it. I don't want you to think like, oh, we increased it because we're gonna, pay for something out of here or put some OT to it. There's no spending against it. It's simply an accounting entry. So.
Okay, and why wasn't this considered to begin with? Why are we getting this figure so late in the game?
Well, we didn't have a review till so late, and they said, hey, we're not going to go with your ongoing, because our ongoing collection percentage, Q1, 2, and 3, is 99.06%. So that's what I calculated the RUT at. And it very well may end up being 99.06% at the end of this year. Hopefully it is. But again, with how late it is, and we're not getting the bills out till middle of November, towards the end of November, they're not going to be due. At least the grace period is not going to be until December. They wanted to err on the side of being conservative with the RUT, and they made me use the 98.84, which was the calculated 2024 percentage. So if that increased it 598,000, I tried to do my best to offset it. And then, of course, we had the other appropriation items that were reviewed, and I had a back and forth with the state on many of the items. So not every item was increased. that they looked at, but, I had to follow along because we have to get it done. Like, I need the cash for the school and the county, so we just need to get it done. And, I still think it's a monumental undertaking that we were able to get the reduction on the municipal tax to where it is from where we started. I think it's $193 in the average home from where we started. So, I think it's still great work that everyone has done here, and for those from CBAB in the audience as well. Yeah,
So
This is
just
where we're
one,
left
one
at.
final question.
Mhm.
When you provided the council with the note that we needed to possibly approve this,
Mhm.
why didn't you provide the backup at that time? Because that's the kind of thing that both we and the CBAB need to look at in order to understand this request.
I think I sent a memo to the council pretty shortly after I came up with the amendment.
But not the backup from the state so that we understood what was going on.
I mean, most councils I've dealt with wouldn't be so inside baseball on it. I should have figured that this group would. But as soon as you asked me for it, I think I sent it
You did right
10,
away.
15 minutes later, yeah. So I'll, in the future, obviously, just share those things so that everybody is, we're all on the same page.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to discuss this before a vote?
I have my hand up.
Councilman Castellino, please.
Thank you, Council President, and welcome to our new attorney that's on the line, and welcome back, Councilwoman Williams. Be looking forward to working with you again, and congratulations. So my concern is that on the website, folks, I've been getting calls this week that, they're going to pay their fourth quarter taxes for those who don't have it included in their mortgage payment, and it reads out 0. So, we have a lot of astute people that know, obviously, their fourth quarter tax isn't set yet, or it's not 0. But I don't blame the state for looking at our numbers and wanting to increase that for us, because unfortunately, there will be people thinking that maybe they don't owe and they may be delinquent until they get their bills late. So I could understand that. So I think, Mr. Detiniak, if there could be a letter is there going to be some kind of letter in the fourth quarter tax bill going out to folks in regards of what occurred, number one? And my second question is, is there something that else we could put on the website so folks know to look for their tax bill, or is it already there and it's just not easily seen? I just don't know. So I'm concerned about that. If you can answer that, and then I have one other statement.
So regarding what they see when they go into our online portal, we can't post a bill for Q4 until the county certifies the levy, and then we generate the bills through ZenGov, and so there's nothing to put there. We do have something on the website. I have to figure probably 3/4 of the town has called the tax office in the last few weeks.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, I hear it, people that come in, I do have to say the tax staff has been incredible. They are on the phone the entire day. I've heard the same script over and over. We've been letting the residents know that, the bills are coming, or, they're not there yet, but they will be coming, and that they will have 25 days from the time that the bills are postmarked as, for the grace period. So we're doing everything we can, when it comes to that. I'll have to talk to Peter about, or Mr. Smarlo about the letter. So we
Okay.
have something on the website. Anybody that usually pays their tax bills has probably called us, or they've already come in and we've talked to them. So, we're just doing everything we can.
No, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all your hard work. I know this was a stressful year for you and your office, and I want to thank everyone for being very professional and patient with everyone. There's been a lot this past year within the community, within the administration and the council. So again, appreciation for that. But you know what, as far as my colleagues, this was great. You know, we did save about $200. However, again, we were able to do that because one, it was so late and we had actuals of the spending. That's not going to be possible this coming year because you're going to, you know, we'll go off the actuals of this year and we'll see where we land when we get the budget in January. But I'm going to ask the clerk on Tuesday's meeting, or if we could figure out with administration one Saturday in like January, February, whenever the administration is ready, that we could at least have one long budget meeting, that we could all sit down and, you know, look at it and go from there. I mean, we had a lot of meetings, which was great. But again, we cannot deliver a estimated third quarter tax bill in 2026. Being in the mortgage business for many years, it's just not the right way to go. So I appreciate all the hard work from the committee and my colleagues and everyone else, but we got to do better next year because people are really stressed out about not paying their fourth quarter tax bills this past week. So I just wanted to reiterate that, and if we could, you know, make sure we get the schedule out for one long Saturday. I don't want to be there every Saturday. I don't want to be there with 100 meetings. Hopefully that won't be the case this year. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better, but I think, Madam Clerk, if we, you know, if my colleagues agree with me, we get out a date early enough where everybody could clear their calendar and at least start off with one long meeting on a Saturday, and hopefully like we did years ago, we were able to get things done in one day. If not, obviously we'll need other days. Thank you. Thank you, Council President. That was my comment.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rudin.
Yes, I am looking at the website where it says tax payments, the front page. If we could just put a banner across that, we still have, most people think in terms of a grace of 10 days. It's only the 7th right now. So if we can put a banner across that page and also a banner across our front page on our website.
Yeah, I think we have something on the front page, but we will add something to that tax page if there's nothing there. Yeah.
And the other thing that could be done very easily is a robocall going out from the administration, just alerting people so that everybody gets the phone call so that your office doesn't have to get the remaining phone calls.
I'd have to talk. I don't know the process for the robocalls or
We
the
can do that.
messaging. Okay.
Just gonna caution though, when we do that, we also get return calls.
Hold on.
No, it's not the cost.
Just-
It's just what we do. The people will be calling us back in. So we will do it. But it may be at the expense of them getting a lot more.
We're going to get calls either way.
So
So
we could
as
do it.
as long as
It's not
that's
an
the
issue.
possibility, yeah.
We could do it. It's not a big deal. We can get that done.
Councilwoman Rudin.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman
Is
Rudin.
there a cost to?
Councilwoman-elect, excuse me.
That's
Apologize.
Thank you. Is there a cost to the robocall? Since we're talking about saving dollars?
No, it's part of the service. We could we'll have our staff set it up and send it out.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, I was going to save this until after we took the vote, but I do want to follow on to some of the comments here. I think the council and the administration and the Citizens Budget Advisory Board all agree that the budget process we followed this year was not acceptable. It is a broken process. The council didn't even start working on the budget until April 14th. And we had 16 budget workshops, the last one in September, and I think that's too long too. So we clearly have a broken budget process. The CFO has committed to deliver the draft budget from the mayor in January. So that's going to start us a lot earlier in the year, and it's going to start us sooner, very soon after we get finished with this budget. And I think all of us, as Councilwoman Castellino alluded to, need to think through this new process. and the council and the CFO and the administration and the CBAB, we need to get consensus on a process that we follow, what our priorities are and how the steps that we're going to take. And I think we should start discussing that at the November 12th meeting and somehow put into place a page or two process that everybody agrees on. And it's got to be focused on efficiency, and everybody has to know what the process is and what their role is. And we have got to get this done a lot sooner. So just wanted to follow up on that. Any other discussion of this before vote? Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Yeah, we already have a motion. Okay, Councilwoman Rudin?
Yes.
Councilwoman Scarpa?
Yes.
Council President Kukoviac?
Yes,
The motion carries.
wonderful. Big step forward. Next one we will get to next week in the November 12th meeting and council meeting, and hopefully we won't have any other glitches in getting this finished up. Mr. Zinek, did you want to?
I just want to thank you, Council President, and your fellow council members and the CBAB and all the residents of West Orange for their patience, obviously. I think, as you mentioned, there were some aspects of the budget process that didn't work well, but I think we've learned a lot, at least on the administration side of how to approach this, and of course, keeping the council informed and giving them the information that they need to make their decisions is absolutely paramount, as we, I think, just discussed about having the DLGS information. So we're going to approach it with that mindset, and we look forward to 2026.
Sounds good. Councilwoman-elect.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to my colleagues that extended well wishes. I want to say thank you to the West Orange community for allowing me this opportunity to sit on your behalf and make these decisions for our community. It is a pleasure to return, and I look forward to the work ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rudin.
Yes, I just wanted to say, although the council has gotten a lot of hit for having an elongated process, all of this would be easier if we get a reasonable budget to begin with.
You're preaching to the choir, but the person that is responsible for that is not here, but hopefully she'll hear. But I agree with you.
Council President,
Yeah.
on behalf of the mayor, and as Mr. Deteniak said, we've already had conversations with our directors and our department heads that we are working on. We're going to be working on our next budget immediately, and we were waiting for this process to be finalized because Mr. Deteniak and the staff has been kind of busy.
You're absolutely right.
And so this discussion has been had at the last two directors meetings, so it's not falling on deaf ears, and they understand, and we've already discussed processes and things of that nature.
Sounds
So,
good.
All right.
Madam Clerk, did you have your hand up?
No.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else we need to discuss today?
I do.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Now, just real quick, I just think circumstances last year transitioning, Mr. Detiniak coming in, because I don't fault him and with him at all, or the in the administration. There were a lot of things, a lot of processes, a lot of things have turned over. I just think we all need to turn a new page, look to 2026, and just accept that this was a tough year. So everybody learned a lot. And blame should, there's enough blame for everybody. We had 16 meetings, which we should have been a lot quicker with. So we all have to take blame where blame is due and deliver the taxpayers their budget. So they do not get an estimated third quarter tax bill should be the priority of 2026. So that's all. Thank you.
Totally agree. Well said. Anybody else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, Greg Pastor, attorney here. I just wanted to briefly say thank you to everybody who welcomed me. I look forward to working with you all next year. And you did a masterful job, Mr. President, of managing this meeting.
Well, I have to disagree with you for the first time. I did not do a masterful management of this process. Otherwise, we would have been done a long time ago. But I appreciate the sentiment, and hopefully the next council president next year will do a masterful job, a better one than I did. But thank you for your kind words. Anybody else? I will try to entertain a motion to adjourn unless somebody else has anything.
I second.
Somebody has to make
Yeah,
it first.
somebody has the motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Any,
aye.
any opposed? The meeting is adjourned.
Wonderful. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
have a great
Have a
weekend,
good
guys.
weekend.